How did that feel for you when, you're working so hard all year and you realize that you didn't make any money? What was that like?
Oh, it was hard. To be very blunt about it, I would cry very often on my office floor and just like be super sad about it because there was still money coming in and out, but there was still a lot of hard times of like, okay, I have this big check, but like then all of it's gone, and it's like, where's the money?
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
My name is Rachel Smith. I own a interior exterior painting company for residential, commercial in Cleveland, Ohio.
Awesome. And how long have you been in business?
Well, so I had a first painting company, like one other painting company, and I started that in 2012. So I've been running the whole thing for a while, but we rebranded to X Paint in January. So this one's fresh and new, and definitely wanted to do things the right way and nothing on the last other 12 years of the last company of all the downfalls that happened.
What was your old business like?
Working, doing production, sales, finances, and there was only a little finances at that time. Like I didn't know too much, and that's where my biggest problem came when I ended up hiring in more painters and actually started having employees. It was a different ballgame.
Yeah. Okay. Over that 12 years, like what would you say your average like monthly sales were during that time? Was it just you, or did you have any partners, or what was it kind of like?
Before I had employees or just myself?
Just in like your previous company?
So, I mean, I reached 1 year, that was my highest year, was 250,000 for the year. And that's when I really thought I was winning. I was, had some bigger partnerships and getting those $15,000 to $30,000 jobs. And, but it all spiraled when I found out that I wasn't making anything by the end of the year. Like after 2 years of having people and then learning what bookkeeping was and what you should be calculating, which is what I'm looking at right now. What you have is the job costing sheet. It's wonderful to look at.
Yeah.
So you actually know your percents and your numbers. And that was the hardest thing, is not knowing your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, like you're pretty screwed. Like
you were just running your business, just like kind of blind to numbers.
Yeah, very, very blind. I just saw, like, I learned how to write proposals, and then I learned how to, do it on the computer, so it made it look a little bit better. And yeah, so it just, I mean, yeah, it wasn't good after a while.
So you did this, you got your business up to about 250K. How did you find out that you weren't making any money?
I hired in a bookkeeper, and they started looking at all the job, like all of my materials and everything. So that's when I started learning, like, oh, you got to calculate materials, you got to calculate this. And then your overall like numbers of what you're profiting and what you're not profiting. And I mean, it was either 500 profit or negative 500 on most of my jobs. And these are big jobs that I'm looking at, and there's just nothing there. So the bookkeeper just was like, you need to stop. Like whatever's happening right now needs to stop. And so that's when I fired everyone. It was hard because I still built a good friendship with everyone. And maybe that was my biggest downfall, is feeling like I needed to be more of a friend and like give them what they deserved and needed. And that fell back on me by not being fully in production and understanding that there's things happening behind my back.
How did that feel for you when, you're working so hard all year and you realize that you didn't make any money? What was that like?
Oh, it was hard. To be very blunt about it, I would cry very often on my office floor and just like be super sad about it. Because like there was still money coming in and out, but there was still a lot of hard times of like, okay, I have this big check, but like then all of it's gone, and it's like, where's the money? So there was a lot of like me hustling to do this and do that, and I'm trying to create. Before I understood what CRM systems and everything, I'm trying to create my own systems by building my own documents and making my whiteboards as a CRM system. And yeah.
Why did you Why did you decide to shut that down and start a new company? Like what's the main difference between that old company and this year starting X Paint?
Bringing on my business partner was the biggest thing. Smith's Painting was kind of more of a family feel, if you would. It's how it kind of presents itself. I wanted something more brandable. I wanted something that really stood out, that, like, like this X is pretty fancy, so it can stand out in a lot of different areas. So I wanted to brand it. I didn't want to bring a business partner into Smith's Painting with all the problems that were there. He was all for, fixing everything. He says he's my wheels to my car because I was running on no wheels.
Why the rebrand? Why starting it up? How's X Paint different?
Just wanted to do things right. Didn't want to carry on the old, for me, it was a lot of trauma. There's still a lot of trauma on the things that I do nowadays in X Paint that I'm like, I got to take these baby steps because I think this is going to happen. But the numbers are clear on what I see, on what we're doing. And it's very different. So I just wanted a fresh start for sure. Something to just look just different. Smith's Painting just really weighed heavy on me.
And you joined with us in January, kind of right when you started up X Paint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you decide that you wanted to work with us or work with a coach starting this new company?
Accountability. I needed it. I feel very determined, and I'm always on the go, and I'm constantly working from day to night. But there's at some point I definitely want to be able to, step back just a little bit and enjoy and watch what I've been doing, really grow from a distance. And
so how did you learn about me? Where did you find out about Painter Growth?
Facebook, your ads.
Okay.
You were all over the place. And the first thing that I actually did, I downloaded actually all your templates before I even joined your group. And I was looking at it, and like I said, numbers weren't for me. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, wow, I need there's some learning here for sure. So talked to my business partner, and he's like, whatever you think that we should do to, get this business going the way that it should. And I was like, absolutely, like a coach for sure. Like I know investing your money is very important in your company, whether it's marketing material or a coach, but it's a great choice to make for your company.
What did you think the very first time you saw my ads? Like, just full honesty. What did you think the very first time?
Honestly, it was, I felt like it was a message for me. Like I knew I needed a program. You see programs everywhere. You see everyone promoting their stuff all over the place. So I knew that there was a clear sign of needing to start, with a coach and with X Paint, making sure that we weren't making any same mistakes. And I built myself definitely to a good point with proposals and invoices and stuff like that, where I felt like I could run a little bit, but I wouldn't have known more the stuff that I know now unless I would have, not joined your company. Like your company has done wonders for me, and it has changed my perspective on the way that you should run a company and what you should actually do. I mean, it's insane. It's the one thing is selling on the spot. Like that's killer. Like that just, I mean, I don't know why I've ever walked away from it, and built up the rest of my evening. So it does free up a ton of time.
Tell me about the first few weeks. You hop on a call. Actually, before I do that, you hop on a call and you talk to one of my guys on the phone and they tell you the price, right? Was it more than you expected, less? How did you kind of deal with the investment?
Honestly, it sounded like a good price because I did check out a different company before you, and they were extremely high. Like, I was like, wow. I was like, yes, that's possible to make back because I've seen the numbers that you can do in painting, but yours is very reasonable. And for the support that you get out of Painter Growth is insane. Like, I mean, it's not just you, it's not just the customer service around everything. It's not just the other coaches. I mean, you have a lot of it, and it's been a great experience to be in it. And that's why, I want to continue to just be in your group for a really long time, to be structured and to make sure we're doing things right.
Cool. Yeah. We'll want to keep you around for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about the first few weeks. So you join. Do you remember, like, what was kind of like the onboarding experience like? What did you dig your teeth into first? What was that experience like?
I talked to Brian. He gave me all the details, and then I don't. When I got into the program, I just jumped straight into the training. I knew that if I just slammed it all out, I would remember a lot of it, and I was just on like such a high. Like I was so stoked to be in the program. I was so stoked to just like learn these new things, and then like I was just running with it, like going to get the new marketing material. But that was my downfall, is when I started getting the marketing material, I started jumping so quickly on it that I wasn't confirming with you guys like what my door hangers look like or anything like that. And that's where I fell back just a little bit and had a struggle in my, door knocking. And that's because I never asked like, hey, does this look good? Does it have the right amount of like, information on it? And it didn't, compared to what the one you guys helped me with and, gave me ideas for, and to the one that I just went out and made myself, thinking, just as a company owner, like, this is great. This is going to get some people. Like, no, it's not. So I changed, the door hangers, and that's when we started getting more callbacks for it. So there's just, even just down to that, like telling you what doesn't look good and what should be changed is so important in what you're structuring in your company.
Yeah. So you started in January, took a couple months to kind of figure things out. How much would you say you booked in like the last 90 days?
In the last 90, this month so far is 80,000. Last month was about 52,000. And then the month before that is about 47. So I'm not good at math. So if you can calculate that.
So like close to 200K.
Yeah, that's insane. That one, I knew what it took to get there to 250 in a whole year with the wrong team. And like seeing what my team is just like, I'm slamming these deals out like crazy, and they're coming in and producing it. Looking at the percents, I mean, anywhere from 50% to 70. There's even an 80%. Like, they're insane on the way that they produce, and it's not sloppy work. We get high-end stuff, and they love what they do, and I'm just so grateful for the passionate team that I have now. And they see the growth and the worth in X-Paint. And I think, if that wasn't for Painter Growth, I wouldn't be in this position. I'd still be in a position of Smith's Painting. It'd be more of like, yeah, we're all cool with each other because, we're all friends and stuff. That's going to be the feel of it. But when they understand the growth and the weekly meetings that you have with them, and they see how determined you are and stuff, like, they want to put your all into that, like into your company. And that's been mind blowing to see the difference from what I thought an A team looked like to what my A team is now. So it's incredible. So
not only have you booked like as much work in the last couple of months as you did all last year, you're way more profitable too.
Yeah, way more profitable. We were running numbers with Gavin, but I can't remember those ones. But I think it's like 52% profit right now or something. And like, I'm only at like a 66. That was before all my sales. So I was at a 66 sales rate. And now I think I'm so much higher. Like, I was closing deals like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So where do you feel like you're going to end this year in terms of like total sales and profit?
Honestly, a lot higher than I thought. When I started, I put on the business plan, I put 300 was my goal. I think that's extremely achievable at this point.
Yeah, considering you've almost booked that the last 2 months.
Exactly. It's been insane. I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
And it's just been such a struggle with finances majority of my life, to be honest. And to just see the things that actually work. And when you put your all into it and actually work hard on these things, like, I'm just very blessed. Like, I'm determined for sure.
So now how do you feel about the future of your business?
Amazing. I mean, we're about to get our first van and wrap that. That's something I was never obviously able to achieve with Smith's Painting because there was no profits. So it's just cool to see the growth. Like, once those vans start getting there, and me and my business partner have so many plans. He wants a skyscraper. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. And so what would you say to someone who maybe is struggling a little bit in their business and, they're looking at joining Painter Growth, but it just feels expensive for them? Like, what would you say to someone like that who's trying to justify the cost?
you're easily going to get it back for sure. You can get that back in one deal. I mean, easy. And if you're putting the effort in to the material that you're providing, you're going to get sales. There's no doubt about it. And it's okay to struggle a little bit and think that like, you know, it might not be working, but you got to look at your material. You got to structure it different. Maybe your script's wrong. Maybe, you know, your door hangers don't look right. You know, you just got to make sure that you're trying everything that's going to make it work. And you got support for sure. You got so much support at Painter Growth. And I mean, I'm so blessed to be here and be able to experience this.
Your story is inspiring, and you're a dope chick, and I'm glad you're here. And
Thanks.
I'm stoked to see you keep scaling, and I'm excited to see you with the mastermind in October. Details coming soon.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna try to drag my business partner along so you can finally meet him. But he's if there's a lot of work, you know, I'm gonna go.
It's October. You'll make it by then.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for sure.
Wicked. We're looking forward to that. And as always, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm here for you.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.